Are you a member of a ham radio club? Better yet, are you on the board of a ham radio club? Do you want to know how to absolutely keep people from joining your club? Do you think that new people in your club is a good thing or a bad thing? I found this article on Reddit and it really resonated with me. So if you want to know how to completely destroy your ham radio club, check this out. This title completely grabbed my attention. I was browsing through Reddit yesterday and I'm like, oh, I got to make a video about that. How to make your ham radio club. He mistyped that. I'm a stickler. Sorry. I'll stop. Okay, I'll stop. How to make your ham radio club as unappealing as possible. This is written by Do Analysis. So he doesn't give a call sign. That's okay. That's all right. That's cool. A lot of people on Reddit like to stay anonymous. I joined an amateur radio club and experienced issues that make me question the competence of the club president and the board. So here's my list of things a club needs to do to make it unappealing as possible. It's written in satire. It's written in sarcasm, which is great because some of these things are very applicable to clubs, sadly, in 2024. Sadly, we still see this stuff in 2024, and it's really kind of stupid the way that some of these clubs conduct themselves. But he makes 2 points on this article that I don't necessarily agree with, so we're going to get to that right now. But I think for the most part, we're good here. Okay, so don't answer any emails that a new member sends you. Even if the new member asks if you got their email, say something like you'll take a look, but actually never do it. On the same note, never check your spam folder. If a member's email lands in there, it'll be there for a reason. I don't understand that statement. If a new member, if anybody's email lands in the spam folder, it'll be there for a reason. Why? Because you're a spammer? I don't know. But it's a good practice to check your spam folder. My Gmail spam folder gets emails all the time that should not be in there. So it's a very good practice to check your spam folder. After reading through this 2 or 3 times, I feel like maybe a club, maybe ham radio clubs should appoint a communications director, a ham radio club with a communications director. What a concept. Maybe they should appoint a communications director that's responsible for web forms filled out on the website and responding to emails in a professional manner. Maybe that should be a new thing. If you do reply, don't use a salutation. Don't close your email with kind regards or similar. Use an unfriendly tone so that the member will stop emailing you in the future. Okay, now, see, I kind of disagree with that. I see what he's saying, and he's not necessarily wrong, but how do kids reply to emails these days? They don't use punctuation. They use all lowercase. They don't capitalize anything. And they don't use salutations like that. And how are you telling tone over email? I mean, yeah, if you're reading it, and sometimes if they use the word, well, that's a stupid question, but let me answer it, then okay, yeah, you get the tone. You get the tone. I get that. Okay. But that's not always the case. Sometimes it's very hard to tell tone over written text, email, something like that. So I don't necessarily agree with that one. I see where he's coming from, but if that was the only thing, I don't think you'd be too bad off. If there is some email back and forth with a member, just stop answering them at one point. Even if the member tries to reestablish contact, keep ghosting them. Yeah, that's cool. Basically, just be bad at communication and try to come across as unfriendly as possible. See, again, ham radio operators, we should be excellent at communication. Not just over the radio, but we should be excellent at communication. Email, especially if you want to get new people into your ham radio club, you got to answer emails, dude. You just got to do it. Again, appoint a member of your club to be your communications director. Answering emails, answering the website, doing this kind of thing. Maybe that should be a thing. Have the same people on the board for years and all of them be over 70. Yes, do that. If you never want to see change in your ham radio club, absolutely. Start all meetings at least 30 minutes late. Bonus points if the presenter is late and needs extra time to figure out how to hook up a computer to their projector. Okay. So I am a member of several clubs in North Texas, and all of them are great, but a couple of them do presentations during the club meeting, and I think that's a waste of time. I think a club meeting should be about club meeting and club business. And he never goes into anything in this article about reading minutes from last month and spending the first 10 or 15 minutes of your meeting, of your club meeting this month, reading the minutes from the last month and voting on the minutes. And I've seen some other people on YouTube say that's a waste of freaking time. Just get rid of that. Put the minutes. You want to have someone take minutes, put it on the website, let people read it. If they want to comment on the minutes, have them do it on the website. Don't take up club business time with reading minutes from what happened last month. Nobody cares. Have topics of upcoming events and have topics and have discussions of what we did this past month that was really fun and exciting and what we would like to do again. So bring up stuff like that. But as far as meeting minutes all the time, it's dumb. I mean, it's a very 1975 way to do things. So So please stop doing the club minute. Again, this author never says anything about club minutes, but having a presentation, especially if you don't know how to understand how to use a laptop or a projector, having that in a club meeting, if that's your thing, then just get to it. Start the meeting, say, hey, how's everybody going? Any new members here today? Anyone new for the first time? Good to have you. Let's get into the presentation and just go. Don't spend time with minutes. Don't spend time with all this other stuff. Get into your presentation, then have a social hour afterwards. I mean, that's what I would do anyway. Only have club meetings once per month. Other activities are useless. Okay, so the club that I'm most active with is the Hearst Amateur Radio Club. They've done the technician series on this video for me 3 times now. The newest question pool is on this video about how to get your going through and getting your first amateur radio license. And that's all presented by the Hearst Amateur Radio Club. So you can find those videos on this channel right now. That club has once a month meetings. I think it's the second or third Monday of the month. It's either the second or third Monday. They have a club meeting once a month, and they do the minutes, and they do the stuff. They don't do a presentation. They just basically have an hour-long meeting. And then every Saturday, they get together at the EOC to talk about whatever. What are you working on in ham radio? Do you need help programming a radio? Do you need help studying for something? Do you need help with this project, putting together an antenna, building a kit, something like that? So they are very active, and they do stuff like that. I think this author is correct. If you don't want to have anybody join your club, then don't do anything except these boring meetings every month. Don't give members an easy way to communicate with each other outside of the club. Do you not have a club repeater? We're going to talk about club repeaters here in just a second. Stay tuned. Ignore any ideas from new members, especially if they try to make the club more appealing. Good idea. Don't organize any events besides field day and winter field day. Only share minimal information about field day organization and preparedness. Make it as hard as possible for new members to join the event. Again, the clubs in my area are very active in field day and winter field day. My own club, one of my own clubs, we're doing winter field day here in just a couple weeks. I've dated myself on when I'm making this video. We're doing winter field day here at the end of January, and we're a very nonchalant, laid-back club. We only meet about twice a year, but we would welcome anyone else in the club that wants to be there. I know a lot of clubs in North Texas, a lot of clubs in the North Texas area that would fit that mold. Very active, very welcoming to new members, lots of stuff to do besides just the meeting. So yeah, that's good. There are great people in the club. No improvements possible due to board members that don't want to change or think any change is necessary. So I'd like to know what you guys think about those points he made. So again, I don't really agree with the whole spam folder thing. Well, if your member's email lands in there, it'll be there for a reason. I don't understand that. Unfriendly tone in emails, that's hard to determine. How are you determining that unless they're using derogatory language? Yeah, the presenter thing is definitely a thing. So he's got some very, very valid points here. These are some very good ways to never get anyone new to join your club. Now, there's 173 comments. I'm only going to read 2 or 3 of them, okay? I will link this article in the description below so you guys can go check it out yourself. If you want to read through all the comments, it's good. This was a good comment right here. This is GMRS everywhere. Radio check only. What a complete waste of time. Our GMRS repeater is apparently well outside the established one, always busy. Great group of guys, 200 plus users on GMRS. We talk about everything and everything. Hams often get on the repeater. Run across folks on GMRS getting on their air the first time. We've had some nice success recruiting younger people for the hobby. Wish we had more success in that, but at least it's some. And this guy right here, my GMRS repeater network is for Civil War use only. In other words, everybody fights on it. That's funny. Okay. All right. That's good. Yeah, I've seen that before as well. We have a really good GMRS repeater here in Dallas, and every time I talk on it, I'm talking to other hams, people who know how to ID correctly. And once we get to talking for a few minutes, they're like, oh, yeah, I've got my ham license, and it's such and such. So GMRS repeaters can be a good hangout spot as well. Now, this one right here struck me, so I wanted to talk about this. Last month, I decided to check out local repeaters around here. I set up my scanner, and you know what I heard? Nothing. This guy replies, did you have the correct CTCSS or DCS codes in your scanner for the repeaters? He said, yeah. I can hit the repeaters and hear them ID. No one uses them. I'd hear someone ID from time to time, but no conversation. And I replied right here. After you heard someone ID, did you try to go back to them? And then this guy talks about, that sucks. Here in Arkansas, we have several that are used daily, both on formal nets and rag chewing, also internet link repeaters as well. Have an informal net that stretches across 3 countries. GMRS repeaters active, but phone service sucks for the most part. Good days. On good days, truckers are using GMRS instead of CB here as well, 73. That bugs me when I hear people say, yeah, I listened to the repeater for like a week and a half, or for all day, every day, while I was at work, I had the radio on the desk. I listened to the repeater every day for like 2 weeks and nobody said anything. All right, well, how many times did you key up? Because if everyone's always listening to the repeater, you're not going to get anyone talking on the repeater. Even if this guy ID, he said he heard someone ID, but nobody went back to him. And I'm like, why didn't you go back to him? Why don't you throw your call sign out once a day? In fact, there's a challenge that I had. Somebody commented on one of my videos around Christmas of 2023, and he said, Christopher Stockwell is his name. Christopher, I don't know you, but thank you for commenting. He said, how about we start a campaign or challenge where each licensed ham checked into their local repeater 1 or 2 times daily for the next year. Run a contest and see who does it faithfully. Now, running a contest or something like that may be a little bit hard, but I think that's a good practice to check into your repeater daily. So here's a challenge to you guys, and I've said this before. Key up your repeater and throw your call sign out once a day. Or if you have 3 or 4 good repeaters near you, key up the repeater and throw your call sign out once a day on more than one of them. Now, if you're interested in learning how to use more repeaters, if you're interested in getting on repeaters and actually making use of them, you want to participate in this effort, I highly recommend you go to hamradioprep.com. They are sponsoring today's video, and you can save a 20% discount on all of their courses, hamradioprep.com. Coupon code is Jason20. Jason20 is the discount code to save 20%. They have a Baofeng's Basics course. They have all 3 levels of ham radio, technician, general, and extra, and they have a new HF course they just released last year. So you can get 20% discount on all of those things, and you can download their app for free. Get your smartphone out, Google or iOS, whichever, download Ham Radio Prep and get started studying today for free. Thank you, Ham Radio Prep, for sponsoring this video. I was poking around on Reddit, and I saw that title, and I'm like, oh, I got to read that. So the title of this video is probably going to be something similar to that, because I'm hoping you guys click on it and comment and say, you know what, if you want to give some comments and give some examples of stupid things you've seen ham radio clubs do, put a comment in the video below. If I get enough comments on that, maybe I'll make a second part of this. But even better than that, if you have a ham radio club you're a member of that doesn't do any of these things, that actually does it correctly, that actually welcomes new members, that actually acts like they are still not stuck in 1975. Maybe you have a few younger people on the board. Maybe you have people who are actually answering emails. Do you have an email correspondent? Do you have someone responsible for watching the club emails and responding to people who send email? Because I've sent emails to my club, and it's usually a day or 2 before I get a response, but usually they'll respond. But wouldn't it be better to get a response to your email like within an hour or 2? Maybe not at Saturday night on at midnight on Saturday or something like that, but maybe we should have email coordinators, communications directors, people who, and a communications director at a ham radio club who's answering emails could get on the repeater once a day and throw your call sign out. Maybe we should have someone designated in the club to do that. Some volunteer, take a 3-month stint, take a 6-month stint as a position on the ham radio club board and say your job is to reply to emails and to key up the repeater 4 to 7 times a week, once a day, and just throw your call sign out and get on the repeater and start making it more active. Because I think more people would answer you if you actually throw your call sign out every now and then.